Do you think if there was such a thing, you would have to have your pitchers change their pitching style if you were in that situation, or would you have them still stick to what they're comfortable with?
I mean, you got to stick what they're comfortable with. I think that's going to be more of just the zone in general. And maybe that will help a lot. I'm not really positive, but um, I don't know. To me, I think it's just a little crazy, to be honest with you.
Coach, do you tell us a little bit about your team right now and going into the new year? Obviously, some of the new recruits. Is there a particular player you're looking forward to coaching? And if there is a particular player, why are you looking to coach that particular player?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I mean, this program it's an exciting time to be a part of our program. It really is. So, as a coach, when you have a locker room full of kids that are here for the right reason, I mean, you can't wait to go to the field. So, going from last year to this year, it was night and day. It really was. And we're finally getting that right player. But obviously, I want to coach kids that just, like I said, that they want to get better every day. They have a drive for everything they do. I mean, they want to compete. They want to be at the best, not just on the mound, but in their bullpens, in their running. I mean, they're the kids that are fun to coach. The kids that are professional in every aspect of their life. And they show up the same guy every day. There's nothing worse than coaching a kid that on Monday you're going to get this guy, and on Wednesday you're getting a different guy. It's about being the same guy day in and day out, and they're the guys you root for. That just go about their business the right way. They put their head down and go to work, and they usually end up pretty successful too.
The MLB draft this year is only 5 rounds. Do you think, one, any of the players this year you think are ready to go in this year? And two, do you think it's something that helps college baseball or hurts it?
It definitely helps college baseball. I think college baseball is going to be the best it's ever been, maybe in the history of college baseball next year. With you have some of these seniors coming back, so you're going to have a lot of older teams that have been there and done it. A lot of high school kids that would have maybe signed in the 10 to 20 round range, and now they're going to show up on campus. So to me, I think it's going to be scary good, to be honest with you. Does it hurt baseball? Maybe a little bit, for sure. I mean, 5 rounds is kind of crazy small, but I think there's a lot going on in baseball when you think about the minor league teams getting cut and stuff like that. I do think 40 rounds was too much before, but 5 rounds is I think it's a shame for more of the kids than anything, because not as many kids' names obviously are going to get called and to fulfill their dreams.
I've been watching baseball since I was really 6 years old. I've been a huge Yankee fan growing up. And the transition of the game, really the relief pitcher, has really taken over for the MLB. And I've been very impressed with some of these openers, what the MLB is trying to do now. You're adding more players to the bench. What are your thoughts? The starting pitcher is not as important as it has been over the years. Now they're looking at relief pitching and adding to their bullpen. Do you think that helps the game or hurts the game?
I don't think either one, to be honest. It is interesting to me because obviously, growing up, I mean, it was always, okay, these guys are your starters, these guys are your bullpen guys. I think in some regards it helps pitchers because, they get on the mound a lot more than they would maybe. But it's interesting to me. In some ways, I think it hurts just because, these kids are just taught it's all about velocity, and, then you see that. That's why there's not that many starters, because these guys go out and they blow it out for 2 innings, 3 innings, and then they're done. So to me, it's kind of unique in a lot of ways, but it's also interesting in a lot of ways.
What do you think are the main differences strategy-wise with the relievers and the starters between the major leagues and college baseball?
Well, in college baseball, starters are crucial, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously your back end of your bullpen makes or breaks it, just like it does in the big leagues. I think obviously in the big leagues, right, it's pretty cool that you can say, hey, these 3 guys are going to go on Monday, these 3 guys are going to go on Tuesday, and you can do it. And if someone gets hurt, it's not a big deal because they can keep on going to the minor leagues. But obviously in college, you can't do that. but starters in college are very important for sure.
I've been talking about baseball and it coming back, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the MLB right now, and Rob Manfred's trying to make a deal with the players, and the players want to play 114 games because they want to make all their money, and then the owners have already said they do not want to pay all their players all that money, especially if they're going to play partial season. Do you look at the owners being a little bit cheap, or do you think the players are right and you think they deserve every dime that they have earned with their contracts?
That's touchy, but I think as an owner, I mean, everyone thinks these guys are billionaires and stuff like that, and a lot of them are. You know what I mean? But a lot of that money is also tied up in assets and stuff like that. So I can understand where they're coming from to a certain degree. But also, I guess you don't really realize it till you're a professional athlete. I mean, those guys have earned that money, and listen, we all need just baseball in general to get going for sure, Now, I don't think they should be getting paid the full amount for not playing, but that's a tough question at the same time. I do think some of these, you look at some of these organizations that have paid their minor leaguers and stuff like that and done it the right way. I really respect that, because they do have the money to pay for that right now. So we just need baseball to get going. That's whether it's 100 games, 50 games, it just has to get going.
Before you were at Pitt, you were actually coaching at Coastal Carolina, which is actually one of the better non-Power 5 baseball schools, in addition to the Southern California schools and some Florida schools and stuff like that. What was your experience like there? And then what does that show that a non-Power 5 team could be as dominant as it can in a sport like baseball, where it seems to be very top-heavy with the talent?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Coastal, has a special place in my heart. I committed there out of high school. Before I signed, and obviously I had a great relationship with Gary Gilmore. He's basically like a father to me. So, the unique thing down there is, he kind of took that program from nothing to one of the best in the country now. And, he just started getting the right players that were for that program. I mean, if you play for Gil, you understand why they've had success. But I think anyone can have success, there's a lot of factors to it, so it's not just a mid-major Power 5, stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it, but, it's all about building it the right way and just continue to build year in and year out. But I was very, very lucky to have those 4 years down there with those guys, and obviously learned a ton from them for sure.
Coach, is there a particular player growing up or coach that you wanted to implement or try to be like growing up as a baseball player or as a coach, growing into the position that you have grown in as a coach, a pitching coach for the Pittsburgh Panthers?
I was always a Derek Jeter fan. I was fortunate enough to meet him a couple of times and be around him and the work ethic. And honestly,
you're a Yankee fan. You're a Yankee fan.
I'm not a Yankees fan.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. But I was very fortunate to be around him a good amount, and Roger Clemens. And I'll be honest with you, when I was around those guys, it changed my career in a lot of ways. Just to how to be a professional, but more importantly, just your daily work ethic. And I've also always looked up to Coach K, at Duke basketball. I was fortunate enough to be at one of his practice and how he went about things, and one thing I've always took from being at that practice is he let his coaches coach, and I really took something from that, because I never understood, some head coaches, they want to, do it all and stuff like that. And it was just pretty cool to watch him, talk to his coaches just as people. And then they all had their separate areas to go to work with their players. Because that's all you can ask for as a coach. As a pitching coach, like they're your guys, whether it's 15 guys, 20 guys. The hitting coach has his guys, and obviously the head coach, they're all his kids. So I've always loved just reading his books and stuff like that.
MLB has embraced a lot of analytics now. It's always been a statistical-driven sport, but ever since Moneyball, they've embraced analytics. Is that something that you think college baseball is going to start doing, and do you do it with your team, or are you more traditional?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we use a system that I'm sure you guys know, Rapsodo and TrackMan and stuff like that, and that does help a lot. It really does. I think where it helps a lot is, most kids these days, need that visualization. So it's good for them to see it. I mean, I can tell a kid, hey, you're flying open and you're on the side of the ball 100 times, and it might not register. And then when I show them on Rapsodo, it's like, oh, I get it now. So it goes hand in hand. Obviously you can have all those gimmicks in the world, but at the end of the day, you're on that mound by yourself, and you got to be able to make those adjustments pitch by pitch. So they're their own pitching coach in so many ways, but of course, everything that you can have can also help in so many ways also.
Before we let you go, Jerry, I think a lot of fans would like to know a little bit more about you. And we usually do this, and we kind of took a step back the last 2 weeks on asking questions like this, but I think these are going to be very interesting questions. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Favorite food?
Pasta.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Besides baseball, what other sport do you like, and what team do you follow more than that particular team in baseball?
Hockey, and that's the Penguins and the Flyers, believe it or not.
Really? You're a Pittsburgh Penguins and a Flyers fan?
That's a weird one.
You got that right. I know. I'm a huge Flyers fan, but I got to be honest with you. I have an 8-year-old son that I take him to a lot of Penguins games, and it's been really tough not to be a Penguins fans for sure.
Favorite type of music?
Country.
Really? Who's your favorite country band or country singer?
I don't really have a favorite, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been a Kenny Chesney fan, but big Garth Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, big country guy.
Particular game that you went to actually watch and you remember most?
David Wells' perfect game.
Really? You were at that game?
I was at that game.
I was at that game too. How funny is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was at that same game. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. Pretty cool.
Yes. And who was your favorite player growing up? I know you said Derek Jeter, but who was the guy that really stood out to you more than any player in professional sports?
Michael Jordan. He was always a guy, believe it or not. I know it's basketball, but I didn't move when MJ played. And I was very lucky. My uncle was a ref in the NBA for 22 years, so was able to see him a lot, and it just really loved watching him go about his business.
Who's your uncle?
Billy Oakes.
I think I know who he is, actually.
That was pretty cool because watching Last Dance, I mean, he was on there almost every episode, so it was pretty cool.
Look at you, man.
Yeah.
Your uncle's a superstar.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So, Coach, when the season starts, we would love to get you back on. We really appreciate you joining us. Why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
I'm not a big social media guy, but I'm on Twitter. It's at OAKSTWNK. And that's all I have. I don't have Instagram or any of that stuff. So
you're not that lucky, but you have kids that probably have that. I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm old school, so I apologize. Not a big social media guy.
Well, how old are you, Coach?
I'm 38.
I'm the same age as you.
Really?
Well, nice.
You're 38 without social media.
Well, let me ask you a question. What year? What month were you born?
April.
So was I.
Oh boy.
What's
you
your
guys have the same birthday.
What's your birthday?
April 29th.
That's my birthday.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I swear to God, I was born April 29th, 1982.
Holy.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
And you were at the same baseball game, the perfect game.
That's crazy.
Wow. Look at that.
How crazy is that? What time were you born?
Oh.
That I couldn't say.
I was born 8:38 in the morning. So you go ask your parents what time you were born. If you were born anywhere close to that, that's crazy. That is
crazy. Wow.
That is crazy. Happy birthday, Coach.
You too, my man. That's good stuff.
Oh man, he's having a heart attack over here. The producer over here.
No, I'm not. I'm enjoying it. That's a crazy coincidence.
I didn't even. You see, that is really crazy. That's creepy, actually.
That is a little creepy.